halfway during my practical, my assessor stops me.
Right,
actually stops me and says, yeah, I'm finding all this is a bit boring, so I don't think I'll be able to pass you. So can you make it a bit jazzy? We'll come back later and you make it jazzy.
A bit jazzy?
Jazzy? What do you mean fucking jazzy?
What? The complete lack of regulation and the appallingly dated education that PTs receive. Now, fuck me, this is a can of worms. This could be a separate episode.
I mean, I did find an actual opinion piece on this. There was an actual paper. Now, it was a very small subject size. I think it was only like 11 people. It was like the current state of personal trainers or something like that.
Well, there we go. We've got a weekly dose of evidence in there.
Yeah, exactly. We managed to read it in there. But a lot of the issues on there mirrored thoughts that I already had in regards to the fitness industry. And the main ones for me is, one, it's such a low bar to pass the course to be a PT. Also, there's so many different course providers out there, and they're all stealing from the different hymn sheet.
Yeah.
So one course might say X, Y, Z, another might say something else. Their exams might be totally different. And you do get this. If you go to a commercial gym so I manage a commercial gym, and my PTs have all done different courses. They all have different belief systems, and I do have a major issue with the PT curriculum, particularly in regards to how there's a big lack of, and once again, this is mentioned in that paper, there's a big lack of the psychology of training or behaviour change, or just understanding that everyone is going to have a different socio-economic, situation. But the problem with PTing is they approach it straight away that they can assume that people have the tools and the financial necessities in order to be able to buy fruit, vegetables. They have the local supermarket. They don't just live on like an estate where the only place nearby is a BP garage. They're assuming that people have all these things available to them. There's another thing, and that is the severe lack of actual physical education here, which is ironic because it's personal training. A lot of it is based on theory, which is fine. That's absolutely fine. But I would rather not really give a shit about how many ventricles there are in the heart and actually go on to learning how to deal with different people and different populations and understand that everyone moves differently.
Yeah. I was going to say, mate, because when if you look at the practical for the PT level 3, for example, you turn up with fucking, obviously because of COVID and stuff, like you have to bring your own, but normally they'd have like someone that you do it for. It's just be a normal person, and you'll just go through the advanced training systems. You'll just go through a few training systems, basically. It's like, how does that practically prepare you to deliver to a wide range of clients? Like if you're a young person, let's say you're like 19, 20, you get into the fitness industry, you've got barely any life experience yourself. You could be living with your parents.
That's another problem. Is a lot of the personal training courses appeal to young people with a lack of experience, and it's also one of those things where you do. It's probably one of those jobs where you do need actual experience before you start the job.
It should almost be like an apprentice thing, an apprentice scheme.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
It should be that you shadow another PT and you work with a PT for a bit, and that's how you get your qualification. Not
so you
by
see,
doing
like
some online fucking course.
How like with doctors, you'll get like juniors who shadow you and stuff like that. Should be the same thing. Now with personal trainers, you are dealing with people's health. You are dealing with people's health. It's ridiculous that they're just like throwing people out there into gyms that ain't got a clue how to actually train people or understand the nuances of training in different populations and their needs. But going back to earlier, there's so many different course providers and they all have different standards, and then we have things like REPS, which is like it's supposed to be the regulatory body of personal trainers.
It's changed to SimSpa now. It's SimSpa,
REPS, whatever they call it. It's not. They don't regulate fuck all. It's just
what
another way to take your money.
Yeah, mate, I paid for like 1 year of it, and then this year they kept saying to me, "Oh, you need to pay the invoice so you can renew it." And I was like, "No, I can't be asked." Like, it's done nothing for me.
Yeah,
it just means
bollocks.
nothing.
There's no regulation. There is zero regulation.
I don't understand it. Because like SimSpa say they're supposed to regulate it, but not once have I heard anything from them regarding my training, my delivery of personal training.
Another thing is, and this is something I repeat over and over and over again, and that is our business is inherently linked with science. We deal with nutritional science, physiology, biomechanics, just like cardiovascular, like so many things that are inherently linked with science in regards to our jobs. If that's the case, science is an ever-changing field, particularly in training, because a couple of years back it was, oh no, you have to train to failure in order to build strength and muscle. But now it actually shows that, no, actually we could train quite far from failure. But then we've also got research that shows that, depending on what adaptations you want to make, you might be best off approaching more towards failure for hypertrophy, less, further away from failure for strength. Different rep ranges do these different adaptations. Nutrition. How long ago fat was the devil, and now fat is okay. Carbohydrates were fine, now they're the devil. Artificial sweeteners cause cancer, now they don't. It's constantly changing. So another thing is the industry doesn't teach you how to actually look into the research at all. All.
That's a good point, doesn't it? There's nothing, is there? There's nothing at all just how to interpret research, is there? So
and the thing is, I do understand that obviously the governing body's out of date. So that's another thing. There's a lot of these courses are actually out of date. So some of them actually say you should not be having adolescents, children, weight train because it's dangerous for them. But actually current research shows that actually no, it isn't. How much time and money would it cost to completely revamp their curriculum every couple of months?
They're just more focused on churning high volumes of people through the system.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, you will get companies as well where they pride themselves on, we have like a 99% pass rate. Okay, so what you're telling me is you now have an incentive to get these people to pass, and it's dog shit. It's absolute dog shit. The curriculum is fucked.
Mate, I'd rather they did the opposite. When you got like fucking the Royal Marines and say like only 1% fucking get through. It's like, that's more. It makes you feel like okay, this is actually hard work. You've actually got to fucking grasp.
As long as you've got the money for it, you can become a PT.
Yeah, PT. Anyone can become PT, mate. It's so fucking easy.
Anyone can become a PT. But you know what? Going back to, so you do get a practical exam.
It's fucking nothing,
it is absolute dog turd.
It's ridiculous,
for example, my practical exam, I had someone doing assisted pull-ups. I had them doing a barbell squat. I had them doing something with shoulder press as well. So just standard exercises. And this was my personal exam, my personal practical exam, right? So I had like the client, I said that their objective was X, Y, Z. So everything was fine. Halfway during my practical, my assessor stops me. Actually stops me and says, I'm finding all this is a bit boring, so I don't think I'll be able to pass you. So can you make it a bit jazzy? We'll come back later and you make it jazzy.
A bit jazzy?
Jazzy? What do you mean fucking jazzy?
What?
Yeah, like, can you, like, I don't know, like, get doing the shoulder press with, like, I don't know, like, kettlebells instead, or can you, like, get her, like, on a Bosu ball? And it's like, what the actual fuck? This is the state of the industry. This is the people that are assessing and telling people whether they've passed or not. It's absolutely horrendous. It's disgusting. And then you've got NASM. NASM's even worse. Oh, spoiler alert, by the way. Beginning of the year, I signed up for a strength and conditioning qualification course. I didn't realise at the time that when I signed up for it, it was NASM. I have since decided it's too late for me to get my refund. I'm just going to let it run out. I'm not going to bother doing it. I'd rather take the financial hit than get certified by NASM. I'd rather just take the financial hit and lose £500.
Yeah.
But yeah, like with NASM, like, the guy, there's a guy that comes to my gym who's actually ex-army, he's ex-PTI as well, and he's learning to do his level 3 through NASM. In fact, I think he's passed since, but he was doing it through NASM. So we let him film his practical exam in the gym. They made him have people
film it. So he had
to film it. So it wasn't actually it was in person, but not with an assessor. He had to film it and send it off. And they requested that he have them squatting on Bosu balls as well, and like they fucking love Bosu balls and all that weird balance shit. But it's just such a state. The industry's in a state, and I don't see it correcting itself anytime soon.
Well, it's out of control, isn't it? There's no regulation.
It is out of control.
There is no regulation. There needs to be something there.
And here's the thing: when I did look into that strength and conditioning course for NASM, they started making some very odd claims in their course. Like with the courses, you still get citation numbers.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, where are they getting this shit from? Because I can't remember what it was, but it was enough for me to be concerned that I was like, I'm actually going to go and read the reference they've given. I'm going to read the paper they've cited for this claim. I clicked on it, and you know what they were citing? One of their other courses.
Fuck off.
Honest to God, and that's NASM for you. That's NASM. It is the worst. Just please, if you're listening to this, you want to become a PT, please don't do NASM. Please.
Oh, fucking hell.
Please, God, just don't do NASM.
I don't even know who you'd recommend at this point. It's
very hard to recommend. There are... at this point, I can only recommend that there are course providers out there that might be less worse than other ones.
less shit. Yeah.
So my one with my old jazzy assessor was, by the way, my other assessor, a separate guy, was also saying, what's wrong with Herbalife? If it gets you money, it's fine to do.
No.
That was with the training room, by the way. So if you want to train with them, crack on. That's who I did mine with. Look, just pass the course, then fuck off and go and do your own,
do your own thing,
follow-up education after that. And I'm happy to help you with that, by the way. Just
take a pinch of salt, mate. I mean, remember when I was doing my level 3, Tom, I was constantly sending you like screenshots of stuff from the stuff I was learning. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ. So I was like, sending to you saying, mate, look at this is the shit they're going about posture and stuff. And I was like, look at this for fucking...
Do you remember? Oh,
like,
God, yeah. But we was like, do you know what? Don't burn your bridges. We need you to pass the course first.
Yeah, I need to pass the fucking course, yeah. And it's just a fucking absolute shit show. I mean, the stuff, it was one of those where you just... I hate saying this saying because it's fucking annoying. Playing the game. You know the army saying, play the game. That's literally what it was for the
play the
course.
game, shut up, smile, and then as soon as you pass your course and get certified enough that you can get insured, just forget everything you learned and just restart from the beginning. It's going to take a bit of time. It's going to be confusion as well because you won't know who to go to. You just need to keep an open mind. Chances are your course provider is dog shit. But one thing I do want to quickly go back on as well is, so that was my level 3 course, right? My level 2 was no better. That was with YMCA, who was supposed to be like an authority on exercise. And this was actually in college as well. So I actually went to a college for this. So we actually had sports science lecturers where you'd think, sports science lecturers, that's going to be really Gucci. We had one guy who dedicated a whole hour to talking to how cows were bad because he saw it on this Netflix documentary.
What's bad? Sorry, cows?
Eating cows because on this Netflix documentary he saw like XYZ.
He's not a dietitian.
He's not a dietitian and he's fucking citing Netflix.
Yeah, and he cited Netflix, who are notorious for bringing out fucking shit documentaries.
Yeah. That was just, so in regards to my education becoming a PT, it was not good.